folks, good afternoon and welcome to, what is it, Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday's Market SITREP here at Top Gun Options. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz. Sorry for the mental gymnastics there. It's been a long, 4 or 5 days of traveling, heading up to the Army-Navy game up in Philadelphia. And then yesterday, fairly emotional day. I had the honor of working with the field regional directors, so the heads of all the regions for Mothers Against Drunk Driving, MAD. Had a great keynote, did some planning with them to help them improve their execution and really stop a senseless crime. And at the end of the day, they presented me with a beautiful pencil drawing of my sister Monica. So they kind of caught me off guard there, and that was very special, very spectacular, very senseless and tragic crime. Just it's ridiculous, man. We got Uber, we got Lyft, we got taxis, we got people who care about you. Please just don't drink and drive. It absolutely is destructive. But had a great time up there in Dallas. But now it's time to get back to work, man. Looks like we're seeing a little bit of a thawing from the Chinese. They said yesterday that they'd lower auto tariffs and starting to see a little bit of that iceberg shifting. And the Chinese didn't really smack us too hard back in the face for the deep state, the Department of Justice's slap in President Trump's face, arresting the Huawei CFO. They just arrested some Canadian. So they didn't even go after a United States CEO. They went after a Canadian. So I think that is their kind of way of telegraphing that, hey, we get that the deep state did that, and let's press forward there, Mr. President. So a little bit of thawing on the trade front by far, or it's far from over, but we're seeing a little bit of a lift today in stocks. But as I said, with every one of these rallies, don't believe it. It's not to be believed. I'll tell you, excuse me, when to believe it. Yesterday, I'm not even going to cover what happened in the Oval Office yesterday. I've never seen anything like it. But that was politics. And the president was right to say, hey, this is what the American people deserve to see. And, of course, Chuck and Nancy were like, oh, we should do this behind closed doors. And Trump's like, why? Why not? Let's get everybody's positions out here. You guys want open borders. You want Islamic terrorists streaming across our border. You want people streaming across our border to get free health care who might be sick, who are criminals. Why don't you let them live in your house, Nancy, in the beautiful – you have a wall around your house, Miss Pelosi, in San Francisco, don't you? And you have armed guards, but – you know, let them eat cake. But what just a disgusting display in the Oval Office of partisanship. The president says he's going to own it, man. He's going to shut this government down if he doesn't get border wall funding. And Nancy and Chuck said, go ahead, do it, and we'll blame it all on you. The reason I bring this up is because the president made one last try this morning to do what? Hey, the Fed's acted crazy. Jerome Powell's a good man. A couple of weeks ago, he said what? The dude's crazy. I've been happy with him since day one that I've hired him. Now he's trying to do a little bit of good cop, bad cop here, a little bit of a good cop, but it's not going to work. They're going to raise next week, and it's going to be one and done. They're going to raise, and then they're going to say they're data dependent, because a lot of data coming out right now aren't necessarily super hot. Wages are up, unemployment's down, all the stuff's kind of looking good. But we're going to talk here at 1 o'clock in our joint accelerated retirement and primary live trade brief. The small caps, man, this is the canary in the coal mine, are the small caps. So I get the S&P technically is out of correction territory, not for long, but this is the canary in the coal mine, small caps. Teeter on the edge of a bear market. Look at the RUT, the Russell 2000. Holy shnikes. So the S&P 500 had its death cross when the 50-day crosses the 200-day moving average last week. These guys had this in the middle of November. These are small caps, folks. This is mom and pop. This is America right here. Look at that thing, man. We haven't even gotten close to getting back up to either one of these moving averages, and this is heading lower. So not, if we're seeing a little bit of a thaw with China here, it's not necessarily super good thing. We still have our own domestic issues with a slowing economy. Good article yesterday in the journal. Market vol leads to fresh focus on what? Algorithms, man. The algos, those black boxes. One of the reasons you're seeing these type of massive swings in the stock market is because it ain't dudes or ladies doing it. It is algorithms trading. That's why you're seeing these whipsaw reactions. So I'm not buying into this rally today. We have a short China trade on. It's only Wednesday, which means we have a world of time between now and Friday for either good news, potentially, on the trade war, or bad news with the president open mouth insert foot. So I have a 41.5, 42 bear call spread that I'm sitting on right now. And remember, folks, it's Wednesday. the rest of today, Thursday and Friday, is a world of time when it comes to weekly options. We're also going to look at getting long the CME group today. So the one area making printing money during this market volatility is what? The house. The houses, the exchanges. People are trading like crazy. And guess what? The exchanges print money based on that. So we're going to take a look at getting along CME group today. Loved seeing this limousine liberal get grilled yesterday. The Google CEO. He faced skeptical lawmakers over privacy and any conservative bias. You're a liar, Mr. Pichai, whatever your name is. Absolute liar. You and what's his name over Twitter, good old Data from Star Trek here, Zuckerberg, you're all liars. They're going after the Twitter CEO for perjury, man. You sat in front of America and said you don't have an anti-conservative bias. Trump proved it, man. You Google Trump's name, and on the first 19 pages of search results ain't one positive news story or from one even neutral Fox or a conservative news outlet. Not one story. And you have employees who are caught on tape saying that they manipulate the search algorithms to push up negative news. You want to talk about interference in an election? It's you, dude, and you're the one that needs to go to jail. Anyway, other than that, Ms. Lincoln, how was the play? This is, we're going to talk about this too. On January 29th, the VXX is going to cease to exist and what that is going to mean for the overall market. And then we have what do we have as far as macroeconomic data today? A bond auction this afternoon. We'll see what Rick Santilli has to say. We already had our crude oil inventories. Tomorrow, import prices, weekly unemployment claims. And then tomorrow, we actually get, tomorrow's a big day. Or I'm sorry, Friday. Core retail sales, regular retail sales, the cap rate, industrial production, services PMI. So Friday's going to be a important macro economic day. But again, folks, all eyes are on the Fed. All eyes are on China. I'm not saying the all clears sounded yet. I mean, we still need to see a huge spike in volatility and washout selling, and we haven't seen either of those yet. So in my opinion, we still haven't reached a bottom, and any of these market rallies are to be sold into. We've nailed every one of these. We've nailed all of this market action. This market ain't coming back anytime soon. If the Fed says one and done next week and, kind of is very, very dovish, that might be our Santa Claus rally. So that's why I'm personally holding on to the XRT position, is because the Fed could come out next week and say all the right things and maybe soothe things over, especially with China starting to just crack a little bit. Especially with auto tariffs and soybeans. And again, like I said, they arrested a former Canadian diplomat, which all my buddies are telling me that's their response. It ain't going to get any worse. So my brother can fly to Shanghai like he was going to in a couple weeks without fear of being arrested. All right, I got to go. I will see many of you at 1 o'clock for our joint accelerated retirement and primary live trade brief. Obviously, we didn't have yesterday's brief because I was up in Dallas. So have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and I'll see many of you at 1 o'clock. God bless.